Hello and welcome to Knife Delights. It's time for a 2 for Tuesday, that easy open tags where you just grab a couple of knives and talk about them. I invite all channels to participate in this fun little open tag. Just grab a couple knives. Let's see them, talk about them. Anyway, today I thought we would kind of go over and explore the early history of the buck Stockmans. It has a very interesting history, and it's kind of confusing to follow along with. But when we think about a buck Stockman, we think about the buck 301, and this is their full-size Stockman. And this is, if you were to purchase one today, this is what they look like. Got the hollow grind here on the blades. Yep. You got 3 springs on them. 1 spring for each blade. Now I know Case did come out with a 3-spring model, but it's kind of unique to Buck for Buck to come out and have 3 springs. Most Stockmans are made to where 2 of the blades share 1 spring, so there's only 2 springs. So this is kind of your standard Buck 301 Stockman, black Velox, traditional shield there with the hammer and knife cutting the bolt. So the Stockman series started with Buck on or around 1966. I'm not going to try to use exact dates because, as you know, there's a date when the contract was let out. There's a date when the knife was, the parts stamped out. There's a date when the knife was actually assembled, and there's a date when it finally appeared in a catalog. So I'm just going to say roughly around 1966 or 67, Buck contracted with Schrade to make the Buck 301 Stockman. And this is one of the first versions of a Buck Stockman made by Schrade, and then you can tell because it has these threaded bolsters right there. This is the only model of a Buck Stockman that has those. So this one was made by Schrade. And you can tell just by the blade shape, by the nail nick, that this was a Schrade made. You can look at other Schrade knives and you can see the DNA. So I was very happy to find this one. Kind of a rare one. It is used, but it's still in pretty good condition. So Buck started out contracting. And after a couple of years, Buck did not like the way Schrade constructs their slip joints because they use a Swindon key system, which means these covers kind of slide down over a key and lock in place. And when you had to do warranty work, they were very difficult to take apart and repair. And they basically had to drill holes through the bolsters and pin them, repin them and everything. So they decided to change a contract with, Camillus. So Camillus then took over the contract, and they had it until roughly 1985 or so. Now, the 301 Stockman slip joint history does not follow or does not translate over to other slip joint models such as the Muskrat, the large, the 117? No. The 307 Wrangler, that's what I'm thinking of. Each of those have their own history. So, again, they contracted their slip joints until 85 or 86. Around 1986, Buck started making their own 301 Stockmans. However, in the meantime, in 1981, there was a 1981 catalog listed a new 700 series, which included 2 models, the 701 Mustang and the 703 Colt. So the Colt is the medium Stockman, kind of equivalent to the 303. So this is a 701 Mustang per se, although later on they renamed it to the Bronco. Now this one was made in 1999, so it had been renamed the Bronco. But it was the Stockman, the first Stockman's series that Buck started making in-house. And you can see it's got a hollow grind there. And the most important thing is you got these wood handles, wood covers, which are pinned. And there are several renditions of the 700 series when it comes to whether there's a shield, whether there's a script tang stamp or not. Now, I'll refer you to a video I did called The Fantastic Five, and it goes in depth on the 700 series, and it takes you through all the iterations of when a shield was on there, not a shield, when they used script, and so on and such forth. So the catalog's product description of the 700 series was a totally new concept, stronger, heftier, and have more body. Stainless steel bolsters and liners, rust-resistant springs, hollow ground blades, handle inserts are birchwood chemically treated to protect natural wood grain beauty. Now, I believe, or it's been said, that Buck introduced these and started making these, in-house. They were never contracted. And the 700 series with the wood covers or wood handles were meant to replace the 301 series and the other specific models. So there's 5 different models in this. And what were they? So you had the 701 Bronco, originally called the Mustang. And then you had the 703 Colt, which was a medium Stockman. Then you had the 704 Mustang, a single-bladed knife. The 705 Pony was a tiny executive knife. And the 709 Yearling was described as an executive knife, another smaller knife, kind of a pen knife. So, yeah, Buck intended for the 700 series to kind of take over. So what's interesting is, even though they intended for this to take over their slip joint line of knives, the last I think I've seen it in a catalog listed was in 2001. So the series ended somewhere around 2001 and went away. And, why they went away or why they didn't sell as well as the modern black Velox versions, I don't know. But, they're awful fancy looking, aren't they? You see the difference in the bolsters? Almost like a canoe style on the bolsters, the way they're rounded up like that. Let me see here. Did we have 3 springs? We did. We had 3 springs on these. And again, that's so the sheep's foot, which normally folds out, usually folds out this way. It folds out this way on this Stockman, and that way you've got a 90 degree angle there. So if you're scoring and things like that, you got a straight line. On a 2-spring model, you have to bend that sheep's foot and cant it just a little bit for it to fit down into the knife. And it's not as strong. So this blade's sandwiched between 2 springs. And I believe they did this because Buck's research showed that the sheep's foot was the most widely used blade on a Stockman knife. So they gave it a nice place to be, nice and sturdy by doing it that way. So again, this is just kind of a brief look at these. I encourage you, I'll leave a link to the Fantastic Five, which goes over the 700 series of Buck knives down in the description box. You can learn a whole lot about this fantastic series of knives. So until next time, have a very delightful day.